Most of you are living like prisoners, and you don't even see the bars. You wake up every day inside a cage you built with your own hands, made of weak habits, soft choices, and lies you keep telling yourself. You scroll through your phone like a zombie, convincing yourself you're grinding, while you're actually wasting your life on cheap dopamine and empty validation. You tell yourself you're working on it while your bank account stays empty. Your body stays soft and your mind stays weak. The truth? You're not unlucky. You're undisciplined. You're not a victim. You're addicted to comfort, distraction, and mediocrity. Men today are softer than ever. You live in a world that rewards softness, praises weakness, and celebrates failure as self-care. Meanwhile, your ancestors built empires with blood, sweat, and steel. They didn't have safe spaces. They didn't have participation trophies. They had survival. You have Wi-Fi, fast food, and antidepressants, and still you feel overwhelmed. Look at your life. Be brutally honest. Are you broke? Are you out of shape? Are you constantly anxious and depressed? Do you stay up late watching YouTube videos about success instead of actually building it? That's your prison. You locked yourself in. The food delivery, the porn, the endless scrolling, the pointless debates online. These are your shackles. You chose them, and you're not alone. Millions of men are rotting inside this invisible cell right now. College degrees with no real skills. Massive debt for useless pieces of paper. Jobs they hate. Working for people they envy. Relationships built on desperation instead of value. They chase women who don't respect them and worship celebrities who don't know they exist. And they wonder why life feels meaningless. Let me be very clear. The world doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you're trying your best. Results are all that matter. Winners eat. Losers starve. That's nature. That's reality. The lion doesn't negotiate with the gazelle. The storm doesn't ask if you brought an umbrella. Life punishes weakness every single time. You want to change? Good. But first you have to bleed for it. You have to kill the version of you that keeps making excuses. You have to step into the fire and let it burn everything that's keeping you soft. Because no one's coming to save you. Here's why this matters, and why most of you will never escape. The system you live in is designed to keep you broke, weak, and stuck. Not because some secret conspiracy hates you, but because broken men are easy to control. A man who's financially desperate will work any job, tolerate any disrespect, and accept any deal. A man who's physically weak won't fight back. A man who's mentally fragile will believe any lie they feed him. The world loves weak men because weak men consume. They buy useless gadgets they don't need. They chase trends to feel relevant. They spend hours watching other people succeed while doing nothing themselves. Weak men are perfect customers, obedient, distracted, and endlessly dependent. That's the modern economy. Monetize your weakness. Look at the evidence around you. How many men waste hundreds of dollars every month on subscriptions, video games, energy drinks, vapes, fast food, dating apps, and empty status symbols? How many spend hours watching other men live the life they wish they had? How many escape into video games to feel powerful while their real-life power fades away? It's not by accident. They want you dependent. They want you comfortable enough not to rebel, but miserable enough to keep consuming. You are being farmed like cattle. Fat, slow, distracted cattle. But here's the harsh truth. No one forced you to sign up for this life. You chose it, one small compromise at a time. Every skipped workout, every impulsive purchase, every late-night binge. These were your choices. You signed your own sentence. And yet, that's exactly why you still have power. Because if you chose this prison, you can also choose to escape it. But it won't happen by accident. It won't happen by manifesting or positive vibes. It happens by becoming brutal with yourself, by facing the cold reality of where you are and what you've allowed yourself to become, by understanding that comfort is your enemy. What I'm about to give you is not easy. It's not for the fragile. It's for men who are sick of being slaves to their own weakness. If you apply what I'm about to tell you, your life will transform. You'll become dangerous again, valuable again, respected again. But you'll have to earn it. Let's begin. Step 1. Ruthless self-awareness. You cannot fix what you refuse to admit. Most men lie to themselves because the truth burns. But that burn is exactly what you need. You have to stare directly at your failures, your weaknesses, your bad habits, without flinching, without making excuses, without blaming anyone else. Look at your finances. Are you broke because you were unlucky? Or because you've wasted years buying things that don't build value? That $7 coffee, that overpriced car you can't afford. Those nights out where you drop $200 just to impress people who don't even like you. They add up. You're not broke because the system is unfair. You're broke because you've been financially undisciplined. Look at your body. You're not overweight because of genetics. You're overweight because you eat like garbage and refuse to train. There are men with missing limbs who still hit the gym. There are fathers working 2 jobs who still wake up at 5 a.m. to train. Meanwhile, you convince yourself that you're too tired. After scrolling TikTok for 3 hours, look at your mind. You're not anxious because life is hard. You're anxious because you've never built mental toughness. You panic over small problems because you've never trained yourself to handle real pressure. Meanwhile, there are men who've watched their businesses collapse, lost family members, faced public humiliation, and they still kept moving forward. Real-life examples? Let's talk about David Goggins. The man was abused, overweight, broke, and hopeless. But he faced his truth, owned his failures, and became one of the hardest men alive. No therapy session or motivational speech saved him. Brutal self-accountability did. Or look at Jocko Willink, a man who built his life around one principle: extreme ownership. Every failure is his responsibility. Every setback is his problem to solve. That mindset made him a respected Navy SEAL and a world-class leader. Or consider Arnold Schwarzenegger, immigrant, broke, barely spoke English, yet he owned his path. Bodybuilding, acting, business, politics. The man built an empire because he refused to lie to himself about his weaknesses. That's your first step: ruthless self-awareness. No more sugarcoating, no more pity, no more "it's not my fault." Every weakness in your life is your fault, and that's good news, because it means you can fix it. Step 2, build violent discipline. Now that you've stripped away your lies, you need to replace them with an iron system of discipline. Not motivation, not inspiration, discipline. The ability to do what must be done, whether you feel like it or not. Motivation is a drug. It gives you a short high and then it disappears. That's why you've watched 500 motivational videos but haven't changed. Discipline is different. Discipline is mechanical, cold, ruthless. It doesn't care how you feel. It cares about execution. Real-life examples? Let's go. Mike Tyson. At 13 years old, living in poverty, surrounded by violence, he trained like a machine. His trainer, Cus D'Amato, drilled discipline into him until he became the youngest heavyweight champion in history. Tyson didn't get there because he was motivated. He got there because every day, for years, he followed the same brutal routine. Wake up, train, study, rest, repeat. Or take Kobe Bryant. The man was obsessed. He'd wake up at 4 a.m., practice before anyone else arrived, review game film for hours, and train again after practice was over. His legendary Mamba mentality wasn't some fancy phrase. It was discipline forged through pain and sacrifice. Even someone like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson lives by this. He trains for hours daily, runs multiple businesses, travels non-stop, and maintains peak physical condition because discipline has become his identity. He doesn't negotiate with himself. He simply executes. You need to build that same system in your own life. Create non-negotiable routines. Wake up early. Train daily. Track your finances. Study something valuable. Execute on your goals every single day. You do it whether you're tired, sad, sick, or bored. Discipline is what makes weak men strong. It's what turns losers into winners. When you build violent discipline, your feelings become irrelevant. You stop asking, "Do I feel like it?" and start asking, "Is it necessary?" And here's the secret most soft men never learn. The more disciplined you become, the freer you get. Because now you control your impulses. Your urges don't own you anymore. You're no longer a slave to comfort. The man who conquers himself is untouchable. Step 3, create ruthless value. The world doesn't care how nice you are. It doesn't care how hard you try. It rewards one thing: value. You're broke because you don't offer enough value to the market. That's the hard truth most men can't swallow. Value means you have a skill, a product, or a service that people want badly enough to pay for it. If you don't have that, you are disposable. That's why so many men are stuck in dead-end jobs, begging for promotions, hoping someone else will give them a chance. Nobody owes you a chance. You must make yourself valuable. Real-life examples? Look at Elon Musk. He didn't get rich because he hustled hard. He got rich because he built companies that solved massive problems. PayPal revolutionized online payments. Tesla disrupted the auto industry. SpaceX made private space travel real. Massive value equals massive reward. Or take Andrew Carnegie. He came to America as a broke immigrant, but he studied steel production, mastered the industry, built massive infrastructure, and provided thousands of jobs. His value built America's railways, and his wealth reflected it. Or look at someone like Alex Hormozi. He built companies, scaled businesses, mastered sales and marketing, and created content that gives actual, applicable business knowledge. His value is information and frameworks that help others grow, and people pay him for it, directly and indirectly. The formula is simple. Value creation equals wealth creation. If you want out of being broke, stop complaining about the economy, your boss, or the job market. Start building real skills. Learn copywriting, sales, programming, finance, marketing, leadership. Pick something that solves a painful problem for others. Every dollar you make is a reflection of how much value you provide. Broke men stay broke because they refuse to build marketable skills. Rich men get richer because they obsess over becoming more useful. You want money? Solve problems. That's the game. Step 4. Master brutal emotional control. Weak men are slaves to emotion. Anger, jealousy, fear, anxiety, lust. These control their every move. And every time you act on impulse, you sabotage your own progress. Look around. Men get into fights over nothing. They ruin relationships because they can't control their insecurities. They gamble away their money trying to feel powerful. They chase instant gratification because discipline is too painful. This is why most men never build anything that lasts. Their emotions own them. Real-life examples? Look at Marcus Aurelius. The Roman emperor ruled one of the most powerful empires in history while facing war, betrayal, plagues, and personal tragedy. Yet he wrote Meditations, a manual on stoic emotional control. He stayed calm while others panicked. He made decisions based on reason, not emotion. Or take Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor who watched his family die in Nazi concentration camps. While others broke, he held on to one truth. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. He couldn't control the horrors around him, but he controlled his inner state, and that saved his mind. Even in modern times, look at men like Warren Buffett, billionaire investor, consistently making rational decisions while others panic. When markets crash, Buffett stays calm and buys while others sell in fear. His fortune is a direct result of emotional control. You must master this. When you feel anger rise, pause. When fear creeps in, analyze. When lust tries to hijack your discipline, step back. Build a mental system where you respond with logic, not instinct. Because emotions aren't reality, they're signals. Learn to read them without obeying them. A man who controls his emotions controls his destiny. Step 5, ruthless environment control. Your environment is either your weapon or your weakness. Most men stay broke, weak, and stuck because they surround themselves with losers who normalize mediocrity. If your friends are broke, undisciplined, overweight, and mentally soft, guess what you'll become? Exactly that. Environment isn't just people, it's your entire system. It's what you see, hear, read, and consume every single day. You cannot grow while drowning in garbage. Real-life examples? Look at Navy SEAL training. Hell Week is designed not just to test physical strength, but to destroy weak environments. You're stripped of comfort, surrounded by suffering, and forced to adapt or quit. The environment forges you. Or look at Silicon Valley startup incubators. Entrepreneurs move into focused workspaces where everyone around them is building, hustling, innovating. That environment forces growth, competition, and higher standards. Even in ancient Sparta, boys were raised from childhood inside a warrior culture. Weakness was shamed. Discipline was enforced. Excellence was mandatory. The environment created warriors who were feared across the world. You need to do the same. Audit your circle. Cut off the dead weight. Distance yourself from complainers, victims, and parasites. Surround yourself with men who challenge you, call you out, and force you to level up. Clean your digital environment. Unfollow useless influencers. Stop watching content that feeds your weaknesses. Replace entertainment with education. Fill your phone, your books, your conversations with information that sharpens you. Control your physical environment too. Clean your home. Organize your finances. Build a space that promotes discipline, not distraction. When your environment is designed for growth, success becomes the default, not the struggle. Step 6, embrace relentless long-term thinking. Weak men want results now. They chase shortcuts, hacks, and quick wins, which is why they stay broke, weak, and stuck. They can't delay gratification. They can't think 5 years ahead because they're addicted to today's comfort. Real power comes from long-term thinking, playing the infinite game, building systems that compound over years. The man who plays the long game becomes unstoppable because most people quit after 30 days. Real-life examples? Look at Jeff Bezos. When he built Amazon, he wasn't trying to make a quick buck. He reinvested every dollar for years, sacrificing short-term profit to dominate long-term market control. Today, Amazon is a global empire because Bezos was willing to suffer today to win tomorrow. Or consider athletes like Tom Brady. He wasn't the fastest, strongest, or most naturally gifted, but his obsessive long-term discipline in training, diet, recovery, and strategy turned him into the most decorated quarterback in NFL history, playing well into his 40s, while others burned out in their 20s. Even in personal finance, men like Charlie Munger built massive wealth not by chasing get-rich-quick schemes, but by consistently investing, learning, and compounding knowledge over decades. The formula is always the same: sacrifice now, stack wins slowly, build foundations that last. While others blow money on short-term pleasure, you invest in skills, relationships, and assets that multiply. While others chase hype, you focus on timeless principles. Long-term thinking makes you dangerous because most men don't have the patience or discipline to do it. They burn out, you endure. They fade, you rise. The man who sees 20 years ahead will always own the man who can't see past Friday night. This is the hard truth most men run from. Nobody is coming to save you. Not your parents, not your boss, not your government, not your girlfriend. If you stay broke, weak, and stuck, life will bury you. Quietly, slowly, painfully, and no one will care. But if you face this reality, if you choose to step into the fire, you can become something most men will never become: dangerous, disciplined, valuable, and free. You don't need more motivation. You need brutal honesty, ruthless discipline, relentless value creation, unshakable emotional control, absolute environmental dominance, and long-term thinking that makes you immune to the short-term traps that keep weak men enslaved. The path is simple, not easy, but simple. You either build or you decay. You either rise or you rot. There is no neutral. Decide which man you're going to be. And if you're serious about building that man, subscribe, like, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. But more importantly, start acting today. Because tomorrow doesn't care about your intentions. It only rewards execution.